and welcome back to the workbench. I have got the base camp on the bench today because Santa probably had his elves make a bunch of these things, and you probably have one that you are playing with and enjoying. So let's talk about upgrades. What upgrades should you do to this thing? Well, the first upgrade that I would do, and the one I did in this video is about, is the shocks. Unfortunately, though, the shocks that I purchased are way too stiff for this model. It's the model's too light for these shocks, and the shocks don't do any shocky things to it. But I thought I would go ahead and share this video with you anyway, so that you can see how to upgrade your shocks. And as I find better shocks for this, I'll make sure to release an updated video. So without further ado, let's get into the video on how to upgrade the shocks on your base camp. So let's get these shocks in here. I'm considering this a level 1 workstation build, which means I can screw things up, and you can probably screw them up with the best of them like me. So what do you need to make this work? Well, you just really need the kit. It comes with the Allen wrench you need and everything else you need in order to upgrade the shocks on your little truck here. You should have also received a tool to take the wheels off. It looks like this. So that is most likely a 4mm. Yes, so that is a 4mm bolt. You're going to find you're going to be doing a lot of upgrades on this. You may want to invest in a tool kit, and I'll have a link to one of those, the one that I recommend you get, down there and in the description. Alright, we'll get these set aside, and we will get all of the nuts set aside as well. I like this little silicone mat. It's nice. It keeps things from flying all around. So you can see after a few runs of my poor man's shocks there, they're starting to leak a little bit. I was thinking about this, and maybe a thicker grease like that red grease you put in car bearings would probably work well as well. But we have the right kit now. So let's try a 1.5mm Allen. Let's see if that fits in there. No, it does not. Let's try the 1.27. That fits. Again, you get your own Allen wrench in the kit. Alright, the first shock is off. I wanted to take one shock off first before I open the package to make sure the lengths are about right. And these are a lot longer. So we will have to figure that out, if that's going to be a problem or not. I don't know. We'll find out together, shall we? I am not sponsored by Enjorna, but I do like their stuff. There are less expensive shocks out there, and they're okay too. The main difference between Enjorna and the cheaper ones, like the GCRC, I think, shocks is this kit comes with everything you need, including different springs. So if you find that the spring rate is not to your liking, you can try the other springs. And to try the other springs, you just lift the spring, grab that, and it comes right out. When you put it back, you make sure you put it back in the correct direction. On that thing, there is a lip right here. That lip goes against the bottom of the shock. And then your spring slides right in. Alright, I want to check these to make sure they have oil in them. To do that, I grab the bottom and unscrew the top. Because this is a smaller car, we're going to put 20 weight oil in there. And these are indeed fairly empty. There's just enough oil in there to have some oil in there to make sure they didn't leak, I guess, from the factory. And that is very common for shocks to ship without oil. And I don't blame them, because if you have one unscrew or something during shipping, this whole thing would be an oily mess, and we would be sad. So I fill it up so that it's about probably 1/8 of an inch or so from the top. This shock has a bladder in the top, and the bladder means I don't have to fill it up as far either. I'm going to get that, paper towel there, and we will exercise this. Good. And then we'll tighten it up. Now I'm going to grab both ends to tighten this up, because I want the bottom as tight as the top. That'll keep it from leaking. Alright, so the shocks are full. So you will need to get some 20 weight oil as well for your shocks. This will probably last you a very, very long time. I've had this now for a year, and I do a lot of different things, and I have it I haven't used very much at all. So don't worry about that. You will have plenty. Start with 20. If you're going to get into 10 scale or larger, you'll want to get 30 weight as well. I'm going to move the shock all the way up. That does not adjust the tension, that adjusts the ride height. Preloads the spring, if you will. And I'll get these all full up, and we'll be right back. Alright, I got the shocks all oiled up. Now let's get out the parts. Let's see what we've got. Let's get everything out. What the heck? Alright, we've got screws. Where is my handy dandy tweezers? We've got a bunch of screws. Cap head screws. I like the cap head screws better than I like the button head screws. These are not fully stainless steel, because if they were, it wouldn't be magnetic. But that is okay. We have all these O-rings, and we have these O things here. So we've got, let's take a look and see what we've got. Alright, so they give us 5 of these, 6 of those, a bunch of O-rings, some spacers, 2 different size spacers, and a bunch of screws, and then another set of springs. Oh, there's something else inside there. Lots of other things inside these springs. Let's look at what we've got. We have got this, it's going to go here to there. So we are going to need a spacer, probably there. So let's see. And then that'll go in there like that. Okay, so here's how it goes. You're going to have your shock. And if this is where the model is, this side, this is going to go like this. So through there. So that that's against the frame. This one will go in. We're going to go like that. This O-ring would fit there. This O-ring would fit there. That O-ring there. And this O-ring there. You can see where the little dimples are right there? That's where the O-rings go. And then we'll have probably the long screws in there. That screw will go in like that. And this screw will go in like that. So that is the plan for assembly. If we need more space, we have our little spacers right here that we can use for that. So let me get the other front shock off of here, and then we can get started. Now we'll get this assembled. The way we do that is we put the first O-ring in. All the way to the end right there. Put the shock, this into the shock, and then the other O-ring in, like so. And then that keeps that brass piece inside of the shock like that. Then we will do the same for here. That wants to be pushed in. Okay, just use your bench to push it in. I don't even know if that one needs an O-ring with it being pushed in like that, but we'll see. Then we'll get a long screw. Put it through there. See my space? Lots of space. That is good. That's going to go right there in that topper, this hole right there. Good. And then this one. Okay. I'll go and get the other ones on. Alright, there it's installed. You can see it's going down quite so far, so this is going to raise it up quite a bit, but I'm not going to get as much clearance going up as I did before. Or I'm not going to get as much travel going upwards. Am I? Yes, less travel, but a longer shock. Interesting. Okay. Alright, this works the same way. On the back, it's exactly the same as the front. So I'll put these on. I'll meet you at the end. Shocks are on. They are doing the shocky thing. Let's go ahead and throw the wheels back on this thing and battery and give her a shot, shall we? The stance on this thing is a lot taller. And it goes down a bit more too, so that means I don't have to trim the body now. But let's see how she works. Here we go. Well, it's a lot taller. I don't really particularly care for the look, but it does perform well. I mean, it does climb up that first part a lot better than before. I'll give it that. Where's it hanging up? So, what do I think of the upgrade? Well, I don't particularly care for the stance, and I think the springs are a little too stiff. So I'm going to work on that to try to figure out what to do to make this even better. If you like the monster truck stance, then the 40mm shock upgrade is for you. If you don't, stay tuned and we'll find a new update for you that may work. I did go and get these little guys. These are the shock something, flex arms. So I'm going to give that a shot with these 30mm shocks and see if it does a better job. So stay tuned for that video. I also have a brass kit for this. This will make the bottom end heavy, but it's really not going to do anything for the shock, for the stiffness of the shocks, because the weight is all in the axle. It's not up in the body, so it's not going to affect the shocks. I have another upgrade for the channel. This is an inexpensive motor upgrade and transmission to give it a shot in there to see what it does. And then I have the Way Cool upgrade. And the Way Cool upgrade is the Furatech Venom motor upgrade. This is probably this is almost as expensive as the base camp. But it'll be cool, and we'll give it a shot, and we'll try it out. Thanks for watching. Happy crawling, and have a good time out there.